think your work comes from knowing the questions that you want to ask and not asking them. And then asking yourself, what do I need to do to be okay with asking this question and then doing that? I feel like there's a ton of magic there, right? I'm noticing this in life that it's not as hard as we make it seem. What is difficult is that we're not asking. And the difficult part is the reason behind that. Like we don't believe we deserve it. We don't believe that we're the person who can maintain it. We don't, right? So it's like I feel like the work is understanding what questions you want to ask. What do you want to say? It doesn't even have to be a question. It could be a statement. Like when this person is talking and you're tired of them talking and you're like, God, if you would just shut the fuck up, you know? And you're not saying it, but you want to say it. It's like, what do you need to do to say that? And yeah, that might not be the best example because you might hurt the person's feelings or whatever, but like I think you get what I'm trying to say, which is like, because I'm just realizing how I feel like you live life on easy mode when you're not afraid to ask things that you really want to ask. Because I'm like working with all these clients and I'm like, and I'm asking work like for more money. I'm asking clients for more testimonials. I'm asking these things. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, things that I would be terrified to ask a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And it's just like, okay, I want to ask this client to give me a testimonial because I'll get paid. I'll get more money. Oh, I don't feel like asking them. Why do I not feel like asking them? Well, I don't feel like I deserve it. I don't feel like I've done enough. Okay, what would I need to do to feel like I deserve it, to feel like I've done enough? So it's almost like the distance between you and the questions that you want to ask is certain inputs. And it's like you doing those inputs turns you into the person that will ask the question. And then your life becomes so amazing, not because you asked the question, but because you've done what you've needed to do in your mind to feel like you are worthy of asking the question. Because then at that point, when you ask the question, you're okay with whatever answer you get. It was never about getting the answer that you wanted, it was about asking the question you wanted and being the person you feel like you need to be in order to ask that. I feel like that's like, it's such a victory that I feel like no one talks about. At least for me, like, this might not apply to you, but I've just always felt so restrained my whole life, so not free, so afraid, so scared, so in terror, so trapped, so just like in a straight jacket mentally and emotionally. And I'm just going crazy wanting to escape, and I just felt so held back. And now as I work and I just give it like everything I've got, and I feel like that is like, I feel like that is, there's something there. The questions that you have, I don't know, there's something there. Like I feel like we're all born with certain questions. And I think my life has just become so much more beautiful and precious and intelligence not even the right word, because the listener and how you guys will probably bucket that is not what it how can I what word can I say to help you understand what I feel? What word can I, not intelligent, that won't give it away. Like holy. That's it. That I feel, well, maybe for people that aren't into religion, what other word could I use that is synonymous to holy but non-religious? Complete? Maybe? I don't know. That doesn't encapsulate it as well as intelligent and holy. But I feel like we're all born with certain questions. And there's a lot of magic that comes from asking them. But it can feel like there's distance between you and asking them. And I feel like the distance between you and asking them is there for a reason. And it has everything to do with the evolution of you and your curriculum that you were given. I don't know if that's true or not, right? That's just a frame that I look at life through, and it really has helped me a lot, um, tremendously. So there are just these questions that I have about myself, about the universe, about others, and I don't know if they. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if. I don't know if they come from me because I don't know if it's the fast that I'm on. I don't know if it's the work that I'm doing, but there is just information coming to me. And I'm not religious. Um, it's just like flowing through me, like ideas and questions and answers, and it's coming to me at such a light speed pace. Like it is like flowing through me quicker than I can keep up with it. And it feels connected, it feels intelligent, it feels holy, it feels complete. And I don't know. Like I hope there's someone out there that can understand what I'm saying, but like what questions do you have about anything? What questions do you have about uh, why do vehicles move that way? What questions do you have about, why does this mechanic exist in a video game? Or what questions do you have about, they can be not like they could be like traumatic. Like, why does this person keep doing this to me? Right? That's a great question. That is such a great question. And it's like, me specifically, like I had that question for a very long time, and it I kept asking it, and it drove me to absolute insanity. And I wanted to self delete, and it was miserable being there. But I just kept asking that question. I kept asking that question. I kept asking that question. And then eventually, I don't know, uh, I eventually started asking different questions just now, right? I'm 30, and I asked that question pretty much until like very recently, like 6 months ago. Like I started working on myself. Um, I don't know, 28, 29. So very, very recently, and I just got to a point just this year where I stopped asking that. And and I feel like that's such progress, because sometimes it's not about finding the answer to the question. It's about asking a question so much until you ask a different question, which is am I going to keep allowing this person to do these things to me? What a different question. And I don't know, there's something, there's magic in questions, guys. Even if you don't get an answer, there's I don't know, I don't know what it is yet, but it's so beautiful because when I have moments like these, it could be a week from now, it could be a year from now. I might get an answer, and I will remember the question when I get the answer. And it will click, and it will connect, and it will make sense, and it will, I don't know. But there's something magical about asking questions, and I don't know what it is, but I just know from my experience. I just don't know how to explain it yet. But there's something very magical about asking questions. I don't know what it is. It's like whatever you think of, like a symbol or a story or like an angel number, right? Something that has deep meaning to you, spiritual, religious, non-religious, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. It just does something to the mind, especially when you don't get an answer. Then it really does something to the mind. Um, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, so I think I'm just gonna stop the video. But there's just, I don't know. I'm noticing that as I evolve, the things I've wanted haven't changed as much as my ability to ask the question I've always wanted to ask because of what I wanted. That's changed more. And it would seem like to the outside that I've changed. And maybe so. But I think it was always going to happen. I think what just looked like change was me going through the inputs that I felt like I needed to go through to be able to ask the questions. And then I finally asked it. And I truly just don't think that you can get what you don't ask for. I think it can happen. I think you can receive. Um, and it doesn't, that's the beautiful thing about the question is it doesn't have to be verbalized to receive it. Like, it's like, are you just asking yourself internally? And I feel like that will, I don't know, set off a frequency inside of you, or I don't know if questions carry frequencies. It sounds woo woo-y, but it like vibrates, and it's like things around you can pick up on the questions you are asking yourself. And it's like a radio signal that they can tune into. And I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. There's just something about the universe and questions. I don't know. Hmm. I want to end it, but I feel like I have more to say. Hmm. Yeah.